Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. This is Alex Tardy, meteorologist with National Weather Service. This updated webinar briefing will talk about the really warm temperatures for the rest of April, at least most of April, with a couple heat waves. Let's take a look at things. So first, let's talk about what happened. Showers were fairly widespread in San Diego County, scattered elsewhere. Some of the rain was locally heavy, up to an inch of water, but most areas just saw light rain. We had reports of hail up in Menifee. We had reports of 4 to 5 inches of snow where that heavier precipitation occurred on Highway 330, 18, and 38 up in the San Bernardino Mountains there. Another look at the precipitation here, just a different map style, zoomed up on San Diego to the left. Some spots a little over an inch of water, so very beneficial. Same was the case as showers moved over the same area of the San Bernardino Mountains during the recent storm. Now, the transition into drier, warmer weather and getting rid of the clouds. That'll be Saturday as a weak Santa Ana wind sets in, so we get north to northeast winds. Now, that'll be breezy everywhere in the green, but most windy in that yellow shaded area in parts of the Coachella Valley and in the Cajon Pass. So this will be the onset of drier air and the start to our significant warming trend. That warming trend on Saturday will be noticeable with temperatures getting up near 80 in the Inland Empire and Orange County. Any plans out to the deserts getting back into the mid 80s and 50s for our mountains. As we go into Monday, the heat expands, and now we're talking 90s in the deserts and 80s for the Inland Empire area and 60s for our mountains. So rapid melt of whatever's left of that snow, and there won't be much by then. Now we heat up a few degrees each day, Tuesday, Wednesday into Thursday, and the peak of the heat looks to be Thursday and Friday for most areas. And we're talking much above normal, 10 to 15 degrees above normal. Temperatures widespread up around 100 in the lower deserts, mid upper 90s in the Inland Empire, even around 90 in our high deserts, and upper 80s to 90 in the inland valleys of Orange and San Diego County. The heat risk will start to develop because this takes a look at the departure from average temperatures. And in those orange shaded areas, temperatures are departing significantly, not just hot, but departing from long-term averages as well. So the heat risk will increase. So this will be our first taste of a heat wave and first widespread 100-degree and higher for the desert. Some of our desert areas could get up around 102. The heat wave is in this period here, so it'll extend into Coachella weekend number 1. It's not just California, it's much of the West extending into the plains as shown here. Now, a storm system approaching the West Coast will keep temperatures near normal across the Pacific Northwest, and that'll eventually break down our heat wave too and bring windy conditions over next weekend. Now, when we look beyond next weekend or Coachella weekend number 1, so April 12th through 18th, we remain above normal, but with the passage of a storm to our north, we bring windy conditions on Sunday, Monday to our deserts, our mountains, but we also bring cooler temperatures, at least getting back closer to normal. Now, the storm track, as mentioned, will be going by to our north, so that black line will be about it. Far northern California will see some of that precipitation with this storm track. Wetter than normal for the Pacific Northwest as a large, slow-moving storm next week moves through. This is the weather pattern, so you can see that slow-moving storm next week will carve right across the Pacific Northwest. We are well south of that. So we're in the warm side of the jet stream. That bulge northward is the upper level ridge. The air mass is what creates heat waves. So you put that over our region with the dry conditions, will be really warm, much above normal this period, with the peak of the heat wave looking like Thursday and Friday of next week. Now for the weekend, as mentioned, we'll have a breakdown of that heat wave and windy conditions because those lines get tighter, the jet stream gets closer. Not for rain, but it'll bring that onshore flow windy conditions, especially on Sunday and Monday as the storm passes by to the north. The long-range outlook is calling for generally dry conditions, and not only dry, but below average dry for much of California in April, and initially wetter than average in the Pacific Northwest, and another shot for the Pacific Northwest in mid-April, as shown here in the two top panels. Now, with that dry weather comes warm conditions. You can see for Southern California, two main heat waves stand out, even though the whole period were generally above normal. One heat wave is the one coming up next week, and then another one in the lower right-hand panel is for late April. The latest outlook for 3 to 4 week, this was just issued today, and generally shows above normal temperatures for mid to late April, when we also have a chance for another heat wave in late April, and below average precipitation. So a warm and dry April. This also affects our fire weather outlook, and so an early fire season is quite likely, with fires developing in May and certainly above average condition in June. So we'll keep that in mind with the below average season, 50% of normal precipitation, warmer than normal temperatures in our mountains and deserts this past winter. So we had a warm and dry winter for the mountains and deserts, and we're expecting warm and dry conditions for most of April. So that sets us up to anything that was able to grow from the March rainfall will be susceptible to burning in the spring and very early summer. All right, some resources here. The link at the top has changed, so make sure you check that. Some of the hazard outlook maps that I showed, you can get in the links in the middle as well. And if you want to monitor the current temperatures, wind speeds, use those links, such as the one with the arrow pointed at it. We're also on X and Facebook, so everyone enjoy the warm weather. Getting a little bit hotter than we'd like to see, though, for April. Stay safe.